kind of breathe today. So I've been thinking a lot about something, and I don't think it gets talked enough in this industry. So for those that don't know me, my name is Leslie Leondis, where I help other accountants, bookkeepers, and tax pros build the business that they actually love. And as I've been digging into this, I've been I feel like sometimes I'm peeling back an onion and I'm finding things more and more. So I did a call on Saturday. I'm a member of John Maxwell team, and if you don't know who he has written I don't about 90 leadership books. But one thing that they made me stop and think about is why doesn't the accounting space do leadership training? Or maybe you do, and I just don't know it. Because it's one thing that could actually fix the chaos, but it doesn't seem to cross the mind of most firm owners. Almost everyone I've talked to has never even thought about doing leadership training in their business for themselves or for their team. We'll spend money on software, on conference travel, on hiring another person to throw into the fire or throw at the fire. But on leadership development, team alignment, we won't spend the money. It doesn't even make it in the budget. Why? And I guess because I always saw this was important, I assumed everybody else did too. But then I have to look back, and I came from retail management, and retail does put money in the budget for leadership and team development and a lot of the things. So I get it. And when I was in the thick of it, when the emails never stopped and the team needed me constantly, and I was working through every weekend, I thought I had a people problem or a capacity problem or a tech problem, but the real problem was me. I had learned to lead in retail, but I had not learned how to lead in an accounting firm. And no one ever told me that my team needed more tasks. They needed more systems. They needed a leader who could show them vision, give them the tools, and trust them to carry it forward. And I used to ask, why can't they just get it? But the thing was, I had 15 years of management experience in my head, and they didn't. I now have over 10 years experience on top of that in the accounting space. But instead of leading, I was reacting, doing, fixing, and it cost me so much. It cost me my time, my peace, my energy, my weekends, my vacations, my relationships. And I know so many of you feel this exact same way. You think if I could just hire one more person, that it'll get better. Or if I could just get through busy season, then I'll fix it. Or I just need better systems. I've seen so much money being thrown at these three things. It's incredible to me. But here's the truth. You may not need more people. You don't need more tech. You just need to lead differently. And that's the thing that we don't actually believe in as a profession. And if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. You need to build a team that isn't just doing tasks, but is moving toward a vision with you. But so many of you don't even have a vision. You don't even know where you're going. And you need to be the kind of leader who isn't afraid to slow down and invest in your people, because that's what will speed everything up for you. But I've heard this over and over. Nobody wants to work for me because will show up like I do. Nobody cares about my business like I do. There's a reason. And the reason is because you're not leading. And I know this because I've lived it. And I see it every day with the firms that we work with. Here's what I know 100% of the time. 100% of the time, every firm we work with is underpriced and they don't even know it because they're in the weeds. They're they're too busy working too hard to zoom out and see what's actually broken. And they're saying people just don't want to work that hard. No, there's a reason. There's always a reason. And 95% of the time, the firm is full of non-ideal clients, which is also the reason you can't keep team members and the reason team members don't stay and is the reason you're just trying to survive and not lead. And almost always, actually, I'm going to say all the time, I haven't found one yet that invests in leadership and development of the team because no one thinks that's the problem. But I'm telling you, it is the problem. And a lot of times I say pricing is at the core. It is at the core because the reason you can't invest in leadership and development is because your pricing is a problem and you're constantly putting out fires. But you also can't step away because you don't trust that things will get done. That's a leadership problem. And that's why your team still needs you. That's why everything still feels like it's on fire. So I want to ask you this. What would it look like if your team knew how to lead themselves, knew how to lead your clients? What would be different for you? If you had the time and space to think about growth, not just survival, what would that look like? If your business didn't fall apart every time you needed a break, what would it look like? All of this is leadership. We have people that are refusing to take vacations or take time off because they have a leadership problem, because they can't, their clients will not be serviced, their clients will not be done this, or whatever the reason, you can't step away. That is a leadership problem. But therefore, I haven't found people that are investing in leadership. Why not? And that's what we help firm owners do at NexPath. We help firm owners invest in themselves and also invest in their team, invest in leadership. Teach you how to be leaders because you know how to do a technical skill, but you may not know how to lead. And like I said, leading an accounting firm was different than leading retail. That was a complete shift for me. And then I had to stop and think, no, it's the same concepts. We're just doing different work. So whether you're a sole owner with a couple of team members or you're leading a larger firm with multiple departments, this applies to you. We do deep dive operation coaching on site or virtual. We train your team on how to lead. We develop your leadership. We help you create a structure that actually works. You don't have to keep doing it all, but many of you think you do. You don't have to keep wondering what's wrong. All you have to do is be ready to lead. And sometimes that looks different. If that's you, if this hit you in the gut some way, when I finally saw it, it was like, oh, that's what's missing. That's the piece that's missing. Then it's time to talk. Comment below, let's talk and let's solve this problem because I hear so many people say if I could just find the right people. Well, they may have the right people, they just don't have the right leadership skills. Whether it be the team or you don't have time to lead them. Well, then we got to figure out how to put time on your plate to be able to lead. Because the longer you wait, the more of your life your business will take. So I urge you to let's talk about leadership and talk about how it can transform your business. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, make sure you drop them in the comments and I will be glad to answer any questions you have and have a fantastic rest of your day.